Itamar Ben-Gvir's threat wasn't just bluster. It froze the Israeli cabinet for hours. While he demanded tougher terms, Hamas tried to kidnap soldiers and Trump declared peace. Inside Netanyahu's shaky coalition, one man's ultimatum could undo a fragile truce. Is this the deal that ends the war or restarts it? The cabinet meeting scheduled for 6 p.m. on October 9th became a study in how narrow margins produce outsized power. For more than 3 hours, Israeli government ministers waited while Itamar Ben-Gvir, the far-right national security minister, extracted concessions over which Palestinian prisoners would be released and under what terms. His party, Otzma Yehudit, controls just 6 seats in the Knesset. But in a coalition that lacks a parliamentary majority, 6 seats can hold an entire government hostage. Ben-Gvir had already announced he would vote against the ceasefire. So had Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister, whose religious Zionism party holds another 7 seats.
It is absolutely forbidden to ignore the question of the price. The release of thousands of terrorists, including 250 murderers who are expected to be freed from prisons. This is an unbearably heavy price. These are terrorists whom past experience proves will return to engaging in terrorism and to their craft of acting to murder Jews. Therefore, in light of this, I and the ministers of Jewish power will not be able to raise our hands in favor of a deal that releases those murderous terrorists, and we will oppose it in the government.
But what made Ben-Gvir's threat existential, rather than merely rhetorical, was what came next. He told Netanyahu directly that he would not remain in a government that allows Hamas to continue ruling Gaza.
In conversations that took place between me and the Prime Minister in recent days, I clarified that under no circumstances will I be part of a government that allows the continued existence of Hamas rule in Gaza. This is a glaring red line. The Prime Minister committed to me that this is how it will be.
The Security Cabinet meeting finally concluded, according to Cannes public broadcaster and confirmed by the Times of Israel. The full cabinet then convened to vote on the deal, which was expected to pass by a comfortable majority despite the opposition from the far right.
I told the Prime Minister, and I am telling you too, citizens of Israel, I will not lend a hand to any case of deception. If Hamas rule is not dismantled, or if they just tell us that it has been dismantled while in practice it continues to exist under another guise, Jewish power will dismantle the government.
But the 3-hour delay had already demonstrated something more revealing than the vote itself. In Netanyahu's Israel, the question is no longer whether a policy is wise or necessary. The question is whether it can survive the internal contradictions of the coalition that makes governance possible at all. But even as diplomats traded cautious optimism, the ground told a different story. Just one day earlier, on October 8th, 5 Hamas fighters crawled out of a tunnel on the southern edge of Gaza City. They were heading toward an Israeli military post in a bid to kidnap soldiers. But an IDF drone spotted them and opened fire, killing 3. The other 2 ran. No Israeli soldiers were hurt, according to the military, and the attackers never made it through the perimeter. Hamas took responsibility for the failed attack on an IDF post while claiming it attempted to kidnap a soldier. In a statement, Hamas claimed that its fighters managed to raid an Israeli army encampment and open fire on troops from close range, causing a number of them to be killed or injured. Hamas also said that it launched RPGs at Israeli tanks in the area.
Our fighters attempted to capture one of the enemy soldiers, but the field conditions did not allow it.
Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz isn't taking any chances. He ordered the IDF to hit back hard against any threat from Hamas, no exceptions. This was during what he called the interim period, the stretch of time before the cabinet voted on the ceasefire and before any agreement actually kicked in. Katz held a consultation with IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir and other senior commanders, and the message was clear. He put it this way, according to Inet Global on October 9th.
Protecting the safety of IDF soldiers is our highest priority that we are committed to in the current situation.
Despite Donald Trump making a flashy announcement of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Gaza, according to the Palestinian media, Israel had been carrying on the offensive in Gaza City. Though the Israeli forces denied it, an Al Jazeera report suggested that 10 people had died in Gaza on October 8th and 9th as a result of Israel's indiscriminate bombing. Donald Trump had, however, maintained he had brought peace to the Middle East and that all the hostages would be back home soon. One of the major talking points surrounding the Trump-brokered Israel-Gaza ceasefire deal has been the United States' reluctance to recognize Palestine as a state. Despite its major allies, including Britain and Canada, recognizing Palestine, America hasn't made its stance clear, and that reflected in the ceasefire agreement too. Prior to the Israel Security Cabinet meeting discussing the ceasefire and hostage release deal in Gaza, the US president said he does not have a view on a potential two-state solution for Israel and Palestine.
I don't have a view. I'm going to go with what they agree to.
Speaking about the release of the hostages, Trump said that he was hopeful that all the hostages would be back by Monday or Tuesday.
They should be released on Monday or Tuesday. Getting them is a complicated process. I'd rather not tell you what they have to do to get them.
Trump quipped that while Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu may have been unpopular in Israel before this Gaza deal was reached, that is no longer the case. He reiterates that he is open to speaking at the Knesset, while indicating that no such address has been finalized, even though Netanyahu extended an invitation and Israel's government is preparing for a visit.